Good morning.
Good morning.
Namaskara.
Namaskara.
Yesterday I was going to ask you something.
Mm.
How is your AI going on?
AI.
You were doing something, no?
I don't know. I'm doing so many things, no? Sometimes, see, I have one work here. If I get up from here and go to the sofa, there's some other work there. When I get up from there and go to the kitchen, there's one book there. Then if I go to that room, there is another laptop, another set of things there. When I come that
So,
side,
so you need AI.
everywhere there is different work. So I'm doing so many things at a time.
That's what
Sometimes
I'm
I
saying.
don't know where I left, what I left, and to where I left that particular thing, and have to pick up from there like that. It is so many things I'm doing. So if I
That's why
if
I'm
I'm in
saying
this
no.
room, right?
That's why I'm saying you need an AI.
Yeah, to
It is
manage
going
all
to tell you
this.
what is where.
Really, so many things are there. Half and half, सब जगह आधा आधा करके रखा है.
We do not know how the time passes, we keep
So
doing things.
soon it passes. And more than one module or one particular activity, you can't do even of that AI. So then I leave it in that section, and then I came to I think 3.2 or something of that AI course. I left it there. Then another one course on AI regarding a course material on Ganesh Gita that I generated. I did the course content, outline of the course content, and everything, and then we had to do the each module. So there I left that one. Then another thing I started, that is somewhere in halfway through in something in some stage. My God, it's so such a big. I wish I had 2, 3 assistants.
That is it.
I need 2, 3 people to assist me in all this to pick up where I left off.
You'll get very soon.
I hope so. I hope I do need to. My 2 hands are not enough because then I have also to do all right
But
from
from,
cooking.
from today onwards, you'll have 8 hands.
Eat. Oh my God. No, no, no.
What my son calls it is Art Devi.
No, no. I don't need only hands. I need their brains also. So, so I need a whole set, a whole package.
See, you made me laugh in the morning. The day will be nice today. This
No, every day is nice.
no, the day you laugh in the morning, no,
Mm.
that day goes so happy.
Okay. Okay. I think we should start because nowadays the Sri Hari is not joining. I don't know whether he's out of station or um, because I sent a message. He's not. He didn't respond to it, so I left it at that.
Everything is okay, no, at your house.
Um, yeah, it must be
Check that
okay.
out. Yeah.
1 minute. Let me just.
Call him up and talk to him, no.
जय गजानन गणेशाय नमस्तुभ्यं हेरंबाय एकदंतिने स्वानंदवासिने तुभ्यं ब्रह्मणस्पतये नमः. So we were observing the pranks and how he was killing everybody, right, left, right, and center. Ganesha in his avatar as Kashyap's son, and he didn't think twice on killing anybody who came to confront him or who came to attack him. So then one day. Then after that he disappeared, Kashyap's son. He was must have been 5, 6 years old, and he says, "Now my work is done, and so I'm going back to Swanandaloka." So Kashyapa and his wife, both Aditi, they made an idol of Ganesha and worshipped him. And of course, they missed his presence. But then that's the way incarnations are. Then Gritsamada Rishi went on to another incarnation of Ganesha in that same period of time when Shiva and Shakti, because of the Durmati, one Asura named Durmati, he was creating havoc. He had captured all the three worlds. So he had got a boon from Shakti. He had prayed to Shakti. From Shukracharya, he had got a mantra on Shakti, and he had chanted that mantra for 100 years. Shakti was pleased and she granted him that he will be sovereign over all the three worlds. He will have health, wealth, happiness, and everything. So, with that boon, he became powerful. He captured all the three worlds. And then, naturally, when the Devas lost their food, that is the offerings in the yajna, then naturally they were distressed. They come to Shakti and pray to her. Shakti was alone. She was unable to do. She went to Shiva for guidance. What I should do now? So Shiva and Shakti, Shiva gave her the mantra of Ganesha, and they both together worshipped Ganesha. They made an idol of Ganesha and worshipped him. And then when Vignaraja manifested before them, they prayed that you be born as our son in order to kill this Durmati. Then they extolled his praise. Ganesha disappeared. Then later on in the month of Vaishak Purnima, the Vaishak Purnima day, they made an idol of Ganesha and they performed the meditation, did worship, puja, and everything. And at that time, Ganesha manifested in that idol. That Ganesha manifested in that idol, and he said that is the prana pratishtha. That is as if the life force was induced in that idol made by Shiva and Parvati. So then he said, I'm come here to keep your promise. Now consider me as your son. So that in that way he was born at that particular time period, and they did all the yagnopavita and all the karmas which is necessary for a child. And then they say they also taught him the Veda Shastras and everything. And then when he Shankara, of course, groomed him to become an infant, and he grew up well. And when he grew up, Hari and Lakshmi, that is Vishnu and Lakshmi, they offered their daughter Pushti in marriage to this Vinayaka. So that is why that in that incarnation he is known as Pushtipati. Even today in the Vaishak Purnima we worship Pushtipati. That is the birth of Vinayaka. One day, so then, this way they got married at the in this she Pushti was married to Ganesha, and he was known as Pushtipati. One day, this Shani Devatta, Saturn, he was distressed. He came worried to Ganesha, and he came to visit Ganesha and his wife. But at that time, he looked very worried. So even though he sang the praise of Gajanana and all, he was in a not a good frame of mind. So then Ganesha asked, "What is the matter?" So not only Ganesha, actually Pushti asked, "What is the matter?" Because Devi Pushti, she is made of the earth element. She is the Mahashakti of the earth element. That is why she was given in marriage to Ganapati. So just at that time, Shakti also manifests. Shakti means Parvati, manifested there. And so when Shakti herself manifested and she asked, "What happened, Shanishwara? What is the problem? Well, you look very worried and you look unhappy. What is the problem? Why do you look so sad?" So Shani is telling Shakti, "Oh Mahamaya, One night, I was engaged in the worship of Surya. Because remember, Shani Devata is also a son of Surya, of Chaya. From Chaya, he was born, Shani Devata. So one day when he was engaged in meditation on Surya, at that time, my wife, seductively dressed in a beautiful clothes and adorned with dazzling ornaments, approached me. She said, "O son of Bhanu, I desire conjugal bliss. I plead you. I have dressed up for you. I seek your attention." But Shani Devata is saying, "I was in meditation. I did not notice her at all for two muhurtas. One muhurta is 48 minutes. So for two muhurtas, did not even notice that she was standing there. So she was annoyed. She got very angry, and so she cursed him. She cast a curse on me in that anger. She said, "I was desirous of gratification. You ignored me. So whoever you set your eyes upon, he will be destroyed. Whoever you set your eyes upon, he'll be destroyed." So that is why even now we are afraid of Shani Devata, Shani Graha, Shani Dasha, and all that. We get scared. This was a curse given by his wife. So hearing these words, Jagadamba said, "Oh Shani Devata, don't worry. You meet Dundi. Dundi is another name for Ganesha. Meet Dundi with devotion, and you will receive redemption from the curse." So he looked at Lord Ganesha. Ganesha was standing there only with Pushtipati, who was seated with his wife Pushti. So but because this curse of the curse, any person whom he looks at will get destroyed. So when Shani Devata turned towards Ganesha, Ganesha's head disappeared. Ganesha's head disappeared, and suddenly everybody was up. They made a big noise. What does this happen? Suddenly, Ganesha's head has disappeared. There was an uproar everywhere. For almost one muhurta, that is for 48 minutes, that the head did not come back. The head had gone away. Then, after that 48 minutes, one muhurta, that head came back. It was replaced on Ganesha's head. So then, when Shani Devata saw that, he was humbled. He sang in praise of Ganesha. First, he was so overcome with emotion on seeing that the impact of his bad impact on Ganesha's head. And then when it came back, imagine the glory of Ganesha is greater than the effect of his curse. So he was ecstatic and he sang in praise of Ganesha. This is Shani Ruvacha. We'll go through this. Namaste Gananathaya Pushtikantāya Te Namaha Vishwambharaya Sarvadi Adi Pujaya Namo Namaha Sarvesham Matrurupena Stiteyam Pushtikarikam Pitatvam Pushtidata Cha Sattarupena Samstitam Kshamasvaitam च अपराधम मदीयं गणनायक पुत्रो अहं ते महाभाग प्रार्थये द्विरदाननं किं स्तौमि त्वां च हेरम्ब योगरूपं सनातनं वेदाद्यै योगिभिः स्तोतुं शक्यते न नमाम्यहं तथापि बुद्धिप्राणां प्रामाण्यात् स्तुवन्ति त्वां महेश्वरा अतो अहं त्वां महाराज स्तौमि भक्तिसमन्वितं नमस्ते बुद्धिकान्ताय सिद्धिनाथ नमोऽस्तु ते ब्रह्मणां पतये तुभ्यं हेरम्बाय नमो नमः सगुणत्वे स्वरूपाय नैर्गुण्ये गजरूपिणे तयोर्योगे च योगाय शान्तिरूपाय ते नमः पुन्नामनरकात्रातां पुत्रस्तेन प्रकीर्तिता शिवपुत्राय वै तुभ्यं गणेशाय नमो नमः सिद्धिर्माया च वामाङ्गे मायिके दक्षिणे च दी तयोरभेदयोगे त्वम् एकदन्ताय ते नमः. Saying this, chanting this, that I am you who are the son of Shiva, you are the Heramba, you who are the form of Saguna as well as Nirguna, you are the form of yoga as well as ayoga, and that to that Ekadanta I bow down, and you saying this, he stood in front of him with folded hands with total devotion. Then and then he did a Sashtang Namaskar. Ganesha lifted him up and said, ask whatever you want, any boon that you want, whatever you desire. So Shani Devata says, grant me steadfast devotion, grant me also freedom from this curse of my wife. So, Gritsamada Rishi is narrating the story to Prahlada. He says, Ganaraja says, O son of Surya, your devotion to me will be steadfast. This prayer that, and only if you look, and he says, uh, only if you look at anyone with anger, then only he'll be destroyed. So at all other occasions, the curse will be ineffective. So, in this manner, Shani was appeased. He was relieved of that curse to some extent, in the sense that only when he is angry. That means, see, Shani is also a disciplinarian. He is a discipline. He is known for the discipline and for ensuring discipline and duty, sense of duty to everybody. So, if he gets angry, when he will get angry when we don't do our duty. So, when he is angry, then alone that curse will be effective. That is, the person will be destroyed. And in all other times, it is safe. So then Shani went to Vishnu, paid obeisance to him, Shani Vishnu, because Pushtipati is the son-in-law. So Vishnu is a father-in-law now to Ganesha. So he went to Vishnu. He asked Vishnu, because Vishnu was the original person. The first knowledge of Ganesh Puran was given by Vishnu to Brahma. So he went to Vishnu and asked the method of worship of Ganesha. So Vishnu taught him the Ganesh Kavach Stotra and other stotras, which is given in the Ganesh Gita, like the Ganesh Gita, and also the Ekakshara mantra, Gang Ganapate. Gang is the Ekakshara mantra of Ganesha. So Shani received all this knowledge, went back home, and he followed the path of Ganesh Yoga, and he became a good Ganapatya. So after the passage of considerable period of time, after some considerable period of time, like just he was living normally, Ganesha was living normally there with Shiva, and one day he comes to Shankara and asks, "Oh Father, you and Parvati are living in the forest. Why are you living in the forest? Please explain." So it was then that Shankara told that this Durmati has driven us all away from all our positions, and now we are helpless and we are living in the forest. Actually, Shankara and Parvati had prayed to Ganesha to be born as their son to get rid of that Durmati. That was forgotten, and all these things happened. And then now Ganesha himself asked, "What is the purpose?" Means it is as good as asking, "What is the purpose of my taking this birth?" So then Shankara tells him that you have to kill this Durmati. So don't. Then Gajanana says, "Don't worry at all. That is wo mera baaye haath ka khel hai." So then Gajanana goes and stands he gets ready for the battle, and he sends Vishnu as a duta to Durmati, messenger to Durmati, and he tells Vishnu goes and tells Durmati, uh, listen, as a result of severe austerities of Shiva and Parvati, Ganesha, the supreme Parabrahma, Brahmanaspati, has taken birth in the house of Shiva and Parvati. Shiva, at the behest of when they requested that he be born as their son, now Ganesha has taken birth in his house, in their house, and now he has come, and he is now my son-in-law. Vishnu is the messenger. So now Vishnu is telling this Durmati, he has sent me as a messenger because I am his father-in-law. Now he is my son-in-law. Now he has come to kill you. So if you want to survive, then you either go to Patal Loka and remain within your boundaries and return all these positions back to the gods and devas, and also restore this earth to the human beings. Otherwise, he is come to kill you. So Durmati, when he heard this, he was furious. He said, I should have actually killed you before even listening to you. But I shall spare you because you are a messenger. So I'm letting you go, but you tell that Lord of Swananda that I shall kill him with one blow. So Vishnu went back and he conveyed Durmati's message to Gajanana. Vignapa mounted on his Mushakavahana and wielding a sharp weapons advanced towards Durmati. And Durmati, naturally, Durmati came with all his astras mounted on a chariot, and then he came with his army to the battlefield. The Gajanana also came with all the devas also joined with their army. Daityas and devas fought bitterly for 7 days and nights. They fought continuously, and then after that. Some of them were on both sides there was casualty. Some people died this side, some people were injured, and then Shankara also. Then after that, when the many of the soldiers, the others were being the army were being killed or lying down unconscious, Shankara came forward, and some other, but then he was also a little bit injured, and others also were injured. When Ganesha saw that Vishnu, Shambhu, Devendra, and other chief devas were all injured, he came forward, and with he looking at Ganesha, this Durmati says, "O foolish one, why are you battling with me? I shall kill you with a single arrow and exhibit my valor. I have conquered the whole of Brahmanda. How can you challenge me? You appear to be ignorant. So if you retreat now, I shall not kill you." He's telling Ganesha, you go back. When the Daitya king spoke arrogantly, so arrogantly, Pushtipati simply laughed and said, "Oh, Daitya king Durmati, do not be proud. I will kill you. You will witness my valiance." So Ganesha but at that time, when Ganesha spoke like that, that Durmati leaned forward and grabbed his tooth and broke it. That tusk. He broke his that tooth. Ganesha snatched that broken tooth from him, and with that tooth only he killed that Durmati. In one stroke, Durmati was killed, and he stabbed Durmati with that broken tooth on his head. Durmati died instantly. Thereafter, Pushtipati, that is Ganesha, revived all the Vedas, and the news spread all around. The Daitya Ganas fled from the battlefield, having since their king was killed, their leader was killed. So they went back to Patal Loka. So this is the end of the story of Durmati. We shall proceed further on this story um, tomorrow, because it begins with about another story altogether on about Agastya Muni. So we will take it forward in tomorrow's session. Yes. So you wanted a little bit of a different subject to speak about. Um, so today, actually, what inspired me to instead of in the Sound of Music, there is a song. Let's start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. Hmm? There's a song, the Sound of Music. That song is my favorite. So that keeps repeating all over again. From where to start? Let's start at the very beginning. So in yesterday's newspaper, there was an article. Actually, this has been coming even on YouTube, where I was seeing Madam Blavatsky's videos on her books, audio books. So the reason being the Adyar, that is the Theosophical Society, the Theosophical Society at Adyar, which is the main center in the country, which was established by Helena Petronova Blavatsky. She in 1893 she sorry, not 1893, 1875. 1 minute. 1875, they came to India, Madam Blavatsky, and she came actually to the Bombay port. From Bombay port, they landed, and then while entering the Bombay port, she writes. There's a book she has written, like a thin book on Elephanta caves at that time, on the Trimurti in Elephanta, and like at that time it was not so this like now with the well connected boats and everything. So she writes about that. So after that, from there she proceeds to Chennai, from where she establishes the Theosophical Society. Theosophical Society is celebrating 150 years. 1875 it was established. So 1975, 100 years, and 225, 150 years. It's a very old, it's a sprawling area, about 240 acres of land. And actually, the entrance, one entrance, if you get out, you have to get out at the other entrance. If you get in from one entrance, you get out at the other entrance. That is almost at the end of one whole road, one big road. If you like one bus stop to another, after two bus stops, then you get out from that other place. So if you miss one, you have to go after two bus stops to get inside from the other end. So it is that huge area. It is in the sea coast. On one side there are all fishermen, fisher folks are there on one side, and on the other side all residential bungalows and all are there. It's still thick forest area, lots of trees. There are, in fact, the oldest banyan tree in there is 2000 years old. There's a 2000-year-old banyan tree. I happened to go in 2019, just before COVID. I happened to visit there, and it was at that time I purchased this book, Annie Besant's autobiography. It was this autobiography actually was first published in 1893. Imagine, long ago. And this Theosophical Society, Adam Blavatsky and others who came, uh, they actually revived the Indian history, the ancient Indian scriptures, Buddhist scriptures, Zoroastrian scriptures. You can find a whole library of 34,000 books and manuscripts in that Adyar library. Adyar library is one of the richest library, richest in the sense, in the form of content, books. And the manuscripts in the palm leaves manuscripts are there, one of the oldest libraries. And it was important for the revival of the ancient Indian culture, the Buddhism, the Parsi, Zoroastrianism, and also the Sanskrit texts. Many Sanskrit texts, which is not available anywhere in India, is available there. Nalanda was burnt, some other this and all was burnt. But here, because it was the foreigners who themselves who were the owners, I mean, who had started, Leadbeater and Scott and others. So many of the foreigners, Annie Besant, who was also involved in our freedom movement. So they were taking care. So it was preserved, well preserved, almost like the British in Britain. Many of our books which are there, it was equally safeguarded here. Even today, like when I was writing the Vinayaka Rahasyam, Vinayaka Rahasyam, one. It was also, I think, of the 18th century. It was written by some students of Kanchipuram Shankara Madam. That book is not available. Later on, some notes compiled by these students were found in the archive, in one village kutia, where books of Periya, that is Chandrasekharendra Saraswati Swamigal. After Chandrasekharendra Saraswati, Jayendra, then Vijayendra, and now Vijayendra. After Vijayendra, again Chandrasekhar. One new person has been appointed just last year. So last year or this year, actually this year. The Periya was a collection of manuscripts, notes, materials, books, everything is stored in one remote village where it is not known to anybody. There, some retired attorney general of Solicitor General and Attorney General from Government of India, after retirement, they found that and they compiled it, organized it, and published it in the form of 4 5 books. Out of that, one they for one Vinayaka Rasyam was an original text, um, some very ancient text. Out of that, one part was available in the Adyar library. A fifth part or the fourth part was the notes, the compilation they have taken from the Adyar library. So that's how even our own texts, which is not available anywhere else, and luckily that now that full thing, 4 volumes, I have translated it to English. It is under publication. It will be soon available, hopefully by next year. By the end of this year, one part is over. 3 more parts. It has to be compiled Sanskrit English. So it will take another 4 5 months, hopefully. So that's my connection with Adyar Library, and Adyar Library also for my book on Incarnations for Steps to Momentum in Human Evolution. This is based on a talk by Annie Besant given in on the occasion of the Theosophical Society fourth annual meeting, 24th annual meeting at Adyar in Madras in 1899. She had delivered a 4 lecture series on various incarnations. She had delivered a lecture on various incarnations, right from Kurma Avatar, Matsya Avatar, Ram Avatar, Krishna. She came up to Krishna Avatar. So then that her views, I took it from there, and also I integrated it with Sri Mataji's words, Sri Mataji's whatever she had revealed, and I compared it with what Annie Besant had reflected on the various avatars, and so that was my the content material, source material for my book Incarnations for Steps for Momentum in Human Evolution, because she dealt with the same theme, how these various incarnations came to evolve, how we evolved as human beings because of those incarnations. So she had used the same concept. Besides, Theosophical Society gave us none other than J. Krishnamurti. J. Krishnamurti, who's still famous. Even now, we see so many posts on Instagrams, Facebook, all his clips of reels and talks from his talks. He was a great intellectual, born intellectual, we can say. And this Theosophical Society, at that time, when Madame Blavatsky was, see, they dealt with this occult science. Occult science was their field of operation, and they felt that there was a coming of a new guru to the world. That is Maitreya. Maitreya was the Vishwaguru. Now, this concept of Vishwaguru, which our Modi has adopted, is probably has a seed there, because they were in the early 19th century. They were preparing for the arrival of Maitreya, the Vishwaguru, and at they didn't call it Vishwaguru, they called it teacher of the world teacher. And so they were preparing J. Krishnamurti to receive the Atma of that Maitreya, to receive that is to download the soul or the knowledge or the energy of Maitreya. So they were grooming him up. So they're grooming him in the sense they would make him fast for several days. He would be hours and hours of meditation. He was isolated, kept in a separate room, and all of that. means a lot of he had to undergo several austerities until nothing such no such thing happened. There was no Maitri or anything which who I mean no such thing came. But of course, the even these people's discussions were all on mystical things, and um, a lot of if you have heard of J. Krishnamurti's talks, and if you have read his books, you'll know what is. They will look at a problem and dissect it, and how we approach it, and how others view it, and a lot of in-depth philosophical approach to these topics. So, but finally, I think, I don't know, just I used to attend J. Krishnamurti's lectures at a JJ School of Arts in Bombay. JJ School of Arts, every year he used to come and give talks under the tree there. I still remember as a college going, when I was in college and early years of in Canara Bank, because I was posted to AR Street branch, so it was very close by. He used to give talks there. I used to attend all his talks. It was for a week or 10 days. He used to come and give talks there. Pupul Jaikar was his assistant. Pupul Jaikar was also a good friend of Indira Gandhi. So means those were the days when there could be such high level discussion even under a tree in JJ School of Arts in a crowded city like Bombay, near or just outside the VT station and Crawford Market. So, but finally, J. Krishnamurti left Theosophy. I mean, he didn't. Started his own foundation, and because he was not in congruence with this concept of downloading Vishnu teacher, the world teacher, and all that. So he had to separate. So anyway, so this was the Theosophical Society. I thought their contribution is very high, and one other contribution is my first elocution competition. I think it was elocution competition was at the Theosophical Society at French Bridge in Bombay. Now French Bridge, they have broken it down, I think so. Recently they broke it down. French Bridge, under the French Bridge, or just close. We had to cross over and then go there. There's a Theosophical Society building there, where they have a good, rich library also. We had an elocution competition for school students, and I got the first prize. So that's another memory relating to Theosophical Society. And Theosophical Society have always been good in our society. They have run several schools for the underprivileged children in Chennai, and also in other places. So they have been contributing to the society by way of such talks, library, mostly in the field of education, and also in the field of thinking, and having encouraging such uh, in-depth philosophical discussions. So it's a memorable place to go to. Of course, yeah, it's 150 years. It's which is an international organization, which was which brought several European stalwarts and thinkers and reformers together from France, from she was an Irish. Annie Besant was an Irish woman, both to Irish parents. Blavatsky from Russia. So so all of those European countries also were members of this place at some point of time or the other, and they also. And Annie Besant actively participated in the freedom movement, and I think she was also president of the International Congress also in some year or the other. She also was, I think so. So that's the kind of the memory we need to revive that, at least the lost knowledge, we can say, the lost links in our historical records, which has been replaced by many manipulations of history or deletion of historical records. And we need to get back to those roots so that we can get some authentic records back into our history books and what the students are studying these days. Otherwise, because it's old, there's not many people who visit there also. Not very one person or two person might just go and have a visit there, or some students doing some PhD or some other research work might just go there. Otherwise, it is just lost to common man. So our youth must be still acquainted of these treasures that are there in some places, some pockets in the country, and so that we can regain and replenish our knowledge. So with these words, let us meditate. Any questions or anything you'd like to share on this? I think you're on mute, Goikar. You're on mute.
These things were not deleted, they were destroyed.
These are not destroyed, it is still there.
No,
No,
most of the things, like, the burning of Nalanda University and all. It is a
Nalanda
destruction, no?
University was destroyed, but some of the treasures which are still there, which
Yeah.
were stolen, or I mean, which were preserved, we need to dig them up. Some of the books are not even translated into English till now. Some of them are still there. Even like yesterday, I think in yesterday's paper in Tibet, there is a whole library of books untouched, all in Pali language, Tibetan languages, which are not even translated at all in English. So they contain all the knowledge which was there in India.
Yeah, right.
That is the ones which have gone and occupied these places. They don't know what to do with it, but they have preserved it. In India, it was destroyed because of various invaders,
Invisible.
people coming from other countries, invading and then plundering us for looting for the gold and other wealth, and then for power, for control over us, for ruling over us. So it was all destroyed. But still, we need to identify where these are located and then retrieve them. So that's an important work that is there. If we are to regain the position, simply getting a title of Vishwaguru is not going to do anything. Okay, that may be the ambition, but ambition does not, if it has no foundation, then the structure cannot stand. So that's why there's a quick fall. So meteoric rise and a quick fall. So let us be more grounded and get our knowledge this together. Yes, AI is good, but AI is good as long as what is put inside that.
Exactly.
And most of the work we are doing is you are generating AI out of what is put there. So what is not put, nothing is generated out of that. And besides, right now, nothing new is getting generated. You are generating out of what is already there. You may produce a new book, a new story, a new, it is all just one first paragraph put in the fifth paragraph, eighth paragraph put in second, means mixture. You just churn it and produce it in a different words. That's all that AI does. It's nothing new that it produces. So that new can come only from the human consciousness, human brain. It cannot come from these artificial things because it is from the chips, from the data that is there. So if we want anything new, a new approach, new construction, new outlook, we need to approach it differently. Yes, it's only a help. It may just help all what if you write it down, if you write something fresh, your own knowledge, it may put it together. Put it together, or in a formatting, mechanical work it can do. If you use it to that extent, well and good. Otherwise, we will degenerate because there is nothing new. And besides, it is producing it so fast. So naturally, we'll be tempted to use a quick fix, quick fix solutions like
right.
thing. So we don't want to spend time in thinking, writing,
You should
all
know
that.
how to use it, how to make use of it.
First, we have to feed it.
No, whatever is fed, even that we should know how to use it.
How to use it? That there are people who are teaching us. That is, so they're telling, oh, the prompts, kaisa likho, oh, prompts, and that nowadays a new position has come. Title prompts engineer, just like software engineer, prompts engineer.
Prompts
A
engineer.
new designation has come, prompts engineer, where if you know to write your prompts very nicely, he will you can that's the
No,
you have to do.
what
Prompts
to
engineer.
ask for.
What to ask that AI system for. Yeah. But then it can do so much, and we should not use it more than that. If we use it, we will become dull because it is doing all the work. Then we'll say, why kyun karna hai?
No, because it is inhuman. No, it is not thinking of
No,
its
and
own.
besides what happens, you're getting paid for that. You're being paid well for that.
Yeah.
And when you're being paid well, then you don't want to make any effort more than that. So will not exert our brain for writing something creatively or anything. Nobody is going to write the codes again.
Yeah.
Coding has gone. So coding is already done, finish. So that's already fed. So that coding, everything it will do. It's just like that. So nothing new will be thought about. And then the brain will die a natural death. Otherwise, it will start fantasizing like this.
Don't
It will
wish
start
that.
huh?
Don't wish that.
No, I'm not wishing. Otherwise, it will fantasize like this, like what we are seeing, Vishwaguru ka fantasy, and all kinds of fantasy of all ways of winning elections, only targeting election as though it is a growth engineer, growth factory. Growth factory doesn't happen by winning elections, no. So, you then means mind works like that. Mind will start working in such ways which is unproductive. Ultimately, the unemployment is the same thing. Inflation is the same thing. Your corruption is the same level. In fact, it is more. So, all of that will remain as it is. The purpose for which you started off gets pushed under the carpet, and then you take off in a different at a tangent. Okay, so let's come back. Let's come back to ourselves for a few moments of silence. Bring all your attention to where you're seated, to yourself. See that your body is erect, spine erect, hands on your lap, palm facing upwards, legs firmly planted on the floor. See that you can sense the ground beneath your feet. Close your eyes gently. Try to bring your attention to your breathing. Well, it's easy to get carried away by thoughts. One thought leads to another. But to wind up all those thoughts and bring it to a point of closure, to a point where our full attention is focused on the moment before us, on the moment in hand, on our simple action of breathing. Breathing is automatic, but now we bring our attention and consciously breathe. Count 1 to 11 as you inhale and 1 to 11 as you exhale. If your mind is wandering from your breath, pull it back forcibly to the counting and to your breathing. The mind is like a little child, a naughty child. All it needs is our firm glance of attention. We reflect back a little on our discussion. And if we have studied our scriptures, at no place there is any reference of the Indian subcontinent or the Bharatavarsha being teachers in the world. We have been referred to as a wealthy nation, rich in gold, gems, a number of minerals and herbs, rich in culture, rich in knowledge, rich in tradition, rich in history, rich as the ancient civilization, living civilization. We attracted people from all over the world. Be it trade, be it as travelers to explore, be it seekers of knowledge. Be it spiritual seekers. We welcomed all. Our more guiding principle was Atithi Devo Bhava. Every guest is like a god. And we honored them as such. What they did to us is a different story. Yet we forgave them. We have allowed all cultures into our fold and allowed them to coexist with us. This comes naturally to us because Bharatvarsha is a karma bhumi. To generate good karmas, we have to live here. At other places, it is the enjoyment of the results of those karmas. If we have to change the essential fabric of our karmas, the sangharsh for that is here in this land. And that's the blessing. That's why the ancient rishis, munis, they never crossed the 7 oceans. Here in this land, karma is considered the dharma as against karma as a right. Karma is not a choice. And since doing karmas such as Nitya Karma, Naimitya Karma, Vishesha Karma, Prarabdha Karma, all these different karmas have to essentially be done. And our values guide those karmas. That is why there are even people, even today, who can put their foot down when they feel that something is inherently wrong. It's unacceptable to them. They just cannot be forced to do anything wrong. That's the strength of character. We need to get to these roots, which have been our strength over the ages, which has been the guiding lamp for our civilization to exist when all others have simply been lost to wars and to other calamities. We have still survived because of this inherent strength. It is in this sense that we have been the guiding lamp to the world. Even today, we can rise above the petty squabbles when right leadership takes control. When we have a 35% population in an impactful age group, we need to assume responsibility. Because we are the largest population in the world. Responsibility in terms of not domination, but responsibility in terms of being the guiding light, the pole star. Slowly bring your attention to yourself, to your breathing. With a firm resolve, हम अब हमारे कर्तव्यों से झुकेंगे नहीं. Let us hold our head heads high and do what needs to be done. Slowly wriggle your fingers and toes. Rub your hands together. Cup your palms, place it on the eyes. Gently rubbing your face. Open your eyes.